them all, free them all. Live and direct, y'all. Heads up, eyes open, and fist clenched, y'all. Y'all know who this is, how we do this. Let's get locked and loaded for another episode of Free 'em All Radio here, Intellectual Radio, a weekly program of the Black Panther Party Cubs. You know what I'm saying? In the spirit of making history, taking history, and taping history. Yours truly, Chairman Fred Hampton Jr. Co-host Robert Allen, aka the Lady of Rage, y'all. Let's get locked and loaded, y'all. That's what it is. 929-477-3785. We probably got some callers calling already. We got a number of we got some subjects coming in. We got a brother coming in now. We're gonna be calling in, telling us about what's happening with this writing. Guys who I don't know if it's limited. I don't want to say guys. It might be you know men and women. In regards to those who've been locked up, some writing. He can give more details about that. What's happening about this pipeline? How is the hacking of the pipeline and the colonial pipelines? How does that impact the gas prices, the different dynamics? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people talking, different generations, a lot of times people dismiss contradictions, you know what I'm saying? Situations that are happening. They try to trivialize it so people just don't like each other, but the politics of the Middle East, the politics of Palestine, what's happening, so what's been happening, let's attempt to put it in political context, historical context, you know what I'm saying? Because again, not to be redundant, but I guess it is redundant. Everything. We reiterate everything is political, y'all. And I know that many people tend to minimize it to, it's just, people don't like each other or astrological sign contradictions or this person feel a certain way. It boils down to politics, and politics is food, clothing, and shelter. How it's distributed, who gets it, who don't get it. You know what I'm saying? And who lives or dies, and how you live or die, and how you view that. Again, y'all, let's make history. Let's take history. Let's tape history. We'll be following. I know a lot of people want to talk about this congressional forum that just happened, I think, day before yesterday. A lot of people want to talk about what happened at the Hampton House on this past Mother's Day. Feel free to comment on that too. But we're going to be going to those subjects also this next week. Real quick PSAs, people service announcement. You know what I'm saying? Get ready. June 20th, headed down to the gravesite of Chairman Fred Hampton. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see about the man who came to say about us. We're going to see about Chairman Fred's tombstone is annually shut up by law enforcement. They don't forget. We cannot afford to forget. We getting locked and loaded for August 30th, the Chairman Fred Hampton Street Party. You know what I'm saying? We've been talking about having some the Oscars come to Chicago. What we gonna do next week? Some different events here. So we've been back and forth, brainstorming. So we might be tying all this in for August 30th, y'all. So put it on your calendar. Put June 20th follows in your calendar. Put every Saturday, Triple C in your calendar. Put October, I forget the exact date, but the Dr. Dewey P. Newton Foundation was happening in October. But, big surprise we happening now, you know what I'm saying? And definitely make sure y'all get December the 4th, International Revolutionary Day. That's what it is, y'all. So whatever calls we got called in now, we're going to dive straight in. We're going to curve straight in with these subject matter. Y'all, this is a weekly program, 6:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Excuse me. Let me back up. I cannot negate the other PSAs. We're talking about the 36th year. I'm hesitant to use this term, but I'm going to roll with it. Anniversary. Acknowledgement. Let's go with that term. Acknowledgement of the bomb that was dropped on Move, May 13th, 1985. What's happening tomorrow, May 13th? Also, what's happening May 15th in Philadelphia? You know what I'm saying? It's in a particularly at a time when contradictions are continuously being exposed. You know what I'm saying? The remains of children, you know what I'm saying? The Move family, I won't say the Move babies because these are our babies, you know what I'm saying? There's, so what's happening this May 15th? What's happening May 19th in New York at Sister's Place? Malcolm X Day. That's what it is. Let's get into it, y'all. Locked and loaded. You got any callers in queue, Sister Comrade? Any callers locked in?
Free 'em all, Brother Chairman. We have Brother John Garland on the line. Free 'em all.
Free 'em all. Welcome to Free 'em all Radio.
Free 'em all.
Hey, what's good, Chairman Fred Jr.?
How you feel, my brother? Good to hear your voice. Welcome to Free 'em all Radio. I just mentioned I will be towards your way, May 19th. Event going on now. But the subject at hand here, does give us a little background who you are. Well, let me first and foremost say welcome to Free Radio. This is a program that we have weekly here, hosted by myself, Chairman Fred Hampton, and also Robin Allen, aka the Lady of Rage. In fact, we had just seen you at the after party to the Oscars. You know what I'm saying? It was good to see you there. People still buzzing about that phenomenal event. The energy that was there. It's good to see you, brother. Um, you actually, matter of fact, I think you say it again, bro.
I'm sorry. No, I said I got a great picture for you. One of Shanta's close friends was a photographer there, and he took this great shot with you in the middle. I was on the end, and Shaka was in there, and Darryl Gibson was in it, and Algie Smith, and Sheena Shavers, and Amanda was in it. Oh, man, it was a great photo with a black and white picture.
Wow.
Can't wait to send it.
I can't wait to get it. You just mentioned some names out. You just threw some names out there. For those who are not familiar with those names, who our brother just mentioned, those are some of the other cast members and people that was involved in the phenomenal project, Judas and the Black Messiah. You know what I'm saying? You named everyone from some script writers or some of the cast members. And I speak about it. You know what I'm saying? The timing was phenomenal. I think I said, man, we did get that in, and I said, no one knew what was upcoming in regards to the coronavirus and everything, but things got in, got sealed and everything, filmed, phenomenal time, but also the dream team of so many forces, that were involved in the whole climate, the atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? Again, not enough awards, acknowledgement can go out, with this, as we say, we was able to put a Panther Cub political peel in applesauce. I just passed Mother's Day, just about 3-4, I think four sisters that came by to get their Mother's Day gifts from the Hampton House, and they commented how they grew up in Maywood, and they didn't know Chairman Fred stayed there. They wasn't familiar with the history about it, yeah, in Maywood. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Hey, Chairman, not to cut you off, but I just happened to be giving you this interview. I'm at Shaka's house.
Wow.
And his mother's here. I know you didn't get a chance to say Happy Mother's Day.
Oh.
But the Queen, I'll get a chance to meet her. You didn't get a chance to meet her yet, right?
Let me say, no, I did not. Can she hear me? You got on speakerphone?
She's sitting right here. Right on your radio show. I'm going to give you an opportunity to meet her. She is the woman behind the man who wrote Judas and the Black Messiah. It's Shaka's mom, Judy King. Hello.
Love and respect. Let me say happy Mother's Day to you. Yesterday, the day before that, today, and tomorrow. I did not get the opportunity to meet you directly. I think we've all we've all come into contact with each other and meet each other directly, indirectly. Appreciate you, your family. I appreciate you and your family, and just want to say, welcome to our show. What I'm saying again. Yeah. I was my fault. I was that we. Yes, that's right. We did meet, but I didn't get right. Yes, I was at the after party. Right. Yes.
Because I was at the after party, but I was sitting inside because I was on a walker, and I didn't, it was too hectic in there.
Yes.
On a walker and people dancing and prancing. I went inside the house and found me a warm spot. Sat down and let people would come and visit and talk with me, but I couldn't be. That was too much for me. I'll be out boogieing you, brother.
That's right. Watch out now. Yes, indeed. I look forward to it. We gonna keep on celebrating because this has been history making, groundbreaking.
We will meet.
Yes, indeed, and I look forward to it. You know what I'm saying? We again love and respect to you. You know what I'm saying, to your family. This is I still have not come down from the people's charge, the type of discussions that are happening now, and this is a powerful piece, you know. And I'm just, you know what I'm saying, just that's
It was supposed to win the Oscar. The only reason that Soccer's film did not win the Oscar was because they favored Nomadland, because Nomadland told a lie that white folks' pain today is greater than our pain ever was.
Woo! Hey, right on. Well said. Well said. Yes, indeed.
Have you seen that too?
No, I have not. I have not seen it. I have not seen it. I'm gonna look at it now. I'm looking. I have not seen No Man's Land. Yeah, no. Yeah, but that's summation.
You know, I've seen it twice because I do not comment on anything if I haven't seen it.
Yes.
I am not that kind of person.
Yes.
I examine it, and then I will say what I have to say.
Yes.
And I watched that movie twice. And what it is it's trying to say that the economically disadvantaged white people of today, who are now many homeless, unemployed, they have many problems.
Yes.
But to try to say, or to try to compare that pain to our pain, which stands for 800 plus years, it's ridiculous.
Yes.
Utterly ridiculous. But they love to say that.
Yes.
And I'm sure that you're familiar with this picture, which I would consider iconic. Black man with the stripes on his back. So, well, that's a picture you see over and over from slavery. And every time I would look at that movie, I would see that man's image in my head and say, how dare you even step into the arena to compare this little, maybe you had even the Holocaust. Let's talk about the Holocaust. The Holocaust is nothing compared to our Holocaust. Their Holocaust lasted how many years? It's not that many. It sure didn't last 100 years. And ours lasted for hundreds.
Yes, indeed.
How dare you compare?
Yes.
So, you know, that is what white people would like us. Not, well, I don't say white people, because I don't judge people.
Yes. With the institution of it. Yes, I'm hearing you.
And the fact is, what I call these people are white extremists. Because white extremism is what we're living under today, which I would consider a mental illness that should be put in that book. They have listing the various mental illnesses. White extremism should be, and will someday be, considered a mental illness.
You know, I didn't see No Man's Land, but I knew and I'm gonna watch, because I'm real big about that too, doing a critical analysis and being objective. But I study history, and I think of.
I'm sorry, listen. I didn't realize. I thought you and I were just talking.
Oh. No. We good. Let the brother know we got a little time. No, we good. No, we good. This one thing about this show, a lot of our stuff, I said we got to move on a pivot. We have a layout for it, but we can never anticipate such situations as this. We have to seize the time. We honored to have you on with us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some of our best shows have been, unexpected, situations. So no, we definitely have to seize the time with this. And I just wanted to comment about the impact, the trickle-down impact of what's viewed as important in put in historical context. I talk about when I was a situation when I was in prison, and a movie came on. An actual footage of Rwanda, and it was bodies floating in the water. It was carnage everywhere, and the brother in the cell with me had no response. He had no response. And then shortly thereafter, there was an actual movie that came on, The Diary of Anne Frank. And this brother, he cried. And I thought, the guards had brought some mail to him about some bad information or something. I said, what happened? Did they do a mail run? What's going on? And he asked me, say, you didn't just see this? And I said, I just seen you, your stoic, cold, lack of response to actual bodies. And even we become dehumanized to it. And the deal is like, like you said, it's not even minimized to just that of people, but it's a politic to it on what's, even down to the point, like I say, even less than other people, if it was even like animals. I tell people, like in Chicago, if it's if they reported the amount of black children that are being murdered every day, if they said it was just dogs, poodles, it would be a different sort of response, And like it was a big case in Chicago. Lieutenant John Burge, he was torturing people, and he never got charged for the actual torturing, electroshocking individuals on their private parts. What he did get charged for was lying to the feds. So basically, it was saying, don't lie to the system, don't lie to the white man. But it was cool for the torture. So it's a political message. I'm going to go back and I'm glad we having this conversation. I'm going to go back and watch the movie. But I drew I studied history, and I seen some of the previews of it. And that's it's something that we have to acknowledge. So I'm glad this was not planned. I'm so glad you got on the call with us. I'm so glad.
Well, I'm telling you, when you do see that movie, take something to keep you up, because it's boring as hell.
So get 2 cups of coffee. I love it. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
I can watch it if it teaches me something.
Yes. I'm real. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Okay, I'm gonna put you on.
Love and respect. I look forward to following again. I seen you briefly, but again, love and respect. Happy Mother's Day yesterday, today, tomorrow, and ongoing. We live and direct on Free All Radio. Yes, indeed. Right on. I definitely will. She's listening. I think she listens every Wednesday, and we gonna say she's definitely on right now. She's on. Yes, indeed. And we look forward to following up with you. Love and respect. We told this is the mother of Shaka King, y'all. We can't. Our shows, we have to move on a pivot. We can't plan all our how we gonna move. We got the layout for you though. So again, make sure y'all tune in every Wednesday, y'all. Real Talk, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Central Time, live and direct. Yes, indeed.
I told somebody yesterday, Cam, that they were asking me what was the show going to be about today. I said, well, I haven't got the flyer yet, but no matter what the flyer may say, we never stick to the script. I said somebody could call in and talk about something, and then the show takes a different direction right then and there. So it's just reiterating what you said.
Yeah, but actually though, Coles, we stick to script, because see, a lot of times people think it's either that like the Panther Party had a term. They say, just because we're against this order does not mean that we are not for order. We have the skeleton, but the deal is the people flesh it out. We have the layout. We're going to discuss what's on the flyer. The script. We're going to discuss what's happening in Palestine. We're going to discuss what's happening in Philadelphia. And the deal is to make the connection. It's political. Everything, the different dynamics, and the people. This lot of organizations, a lot of walks of life. They tell the people. They come with the program, and it's dictated to them. We provide this. We want the people to bring in information. We provide, and we hit with the summation. So we have the layout. There's a certain we refer to as a party line, where we want people to say, this is like the programs that we have, the triple C's. The triple C we're going to give it Saturday. We're going to do the same. We also take into account things that constantly, in the basic line of it, the skeleton of it, something that cannot be compromised, is that we serve the people. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we might not have the food we're looking for. Sometimes we might not have the support. The people come out, but it's going to be consistent. The Free All Radio, we are going to be addressing the different issues that are relevant to the people. And sometimes we try to be up to as close as possible with the time, so it can be relevant. And you know what I'm saying, and the deal is, the people are that's our best security, and that's the lifeline of our programs. You know what I'm saying? And so we need the people to call in. We want to be open, that they don't feel restricted. I can't, I don't, I didn't come in at a certain time. I'm not dressed a certain way. I'm not talking a certain way. We don't say because there's no way we can plan on the calls coming in from the prisons in Minnesota, the Cook County Jail. You know what I'm saying? We want to heighten the contradictions. We're open with the people feel, you know what I'm saying, to bring in the different assessments, because the deal is we relate to the fact that movements come from the ground up as opposed to the top down. A lot of different dynamics. People see the trickle down, they see reverse, where people think change comes from the top down. You know what I'm saying? This congressional forum the other day, this wasn't just because some politicians had some sort of liking or compassion. This comes from the ground up. This comes from the struggles to get to the point, the discussions, the movies, so on and so forth. It's people now want to have an event with us May 22nd who were going at the movie talking about, well, Daniel Kaluuya is not from the States, so on and so forth. This is the deal is, and many people have not, they've been told they've been given what we call conventional definitions. This is how you speak. This is how you address issues. Wait till February comes around. Wait till election time comes around. And I told people, look at the changes. Look at the discussions that are happening now. This is not, there wasn't a big voters registration drive. This is a result of the movements from the ground up. And we have to seize the time. So we have them lay out, and these are reactionary times. We're fighting against revolutionary times. We could organize our own terms, because we have to battle not to engage in ambulance chasing. That we just respond to everything. But the politics gives us the ability to pick our moves, and not let our moves pick us. To say, okay, this is what this is, and also we the people that bear with us, as we say, cub with us, acknowledging that this is something that's continuously under attack. I tell people, say, when you talk about movies or anything, any dynamic, you have to put it in context. Who are you talking about? And you cannot dismiss the contradiction of race and class. You talk about such organizations with the Black Panther Party, their programs. It's one thing to just say, well, we fed people too. You say, whoa, you talking about an organization that was under attack. Lou Palmer, they call him a Panther with a pen. Lou Palmer's wife, Georgia English, talking about how Lou Palmer told me what drew them to the Black Panther Party was this: when the police had burnt up the free clothes and the free food at the Black Panther Party headquarters. He said to see that, to see that. This was after the police had tried to get the federal government told the vice lords they'd get them 16th Street if the Panther could open the Free Medical Center on 16th Street, and they were unsuccessful. That chairman won in the work of the Free Medical Center, so the police themselves had to come do it. So we want the people to understand. I'm banned on Facebook right now. We want people to relate to the fact that, we've been sabotaged, attacked. People say, why y'all ain't got this and that? To put it in context, to understand also we need their support, and understand, that our programs, it got to be something to it, because it's constantly under attack. A lot of people still get to say, well, you must be doing something wrong because you're constantly being infiltrated by agent provocateurs. You're constantly being sabotaged. We say, no, we must be doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So we live and direct, y'all. So the deal is, come bring your information, again, to our weekly program, to how you can support it. Again, every Wednesday, how they say in the church, God, Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, we gonna be here, you know what I'm saying? And keep on, keep on doing it. We live and direct, y'all. Let's make history. Let's take history. Let's take history. Who we got here online with us? Right on, my brother. Talk, man. Good, man. Hey, you couldn't plan this no better, man. Right on. Talk to us, man. Just for those who listen in, this is Shaka King's cousin. And man, what's this program that you talking that you just hipping us to?
Well, because during the pandemic, there were millions of prisoners who was abandoned by their caretakers, and many were left to die alone in their prison cells. When the coronavirus hit the prison system, a lot of the correctional staff abandoned their posts, prisoners were locked up and basically left in their cells. Visitation was suspended, telephone services was the only means of communication that they really had at the time was mail, was a snail mail. And the government can't take away a business right to send and receive mail without a court order, because the United States Supreme Court has ruled in a landmark case, Hudson versus Palmer, that the First Amendment of the U.S. Constitution entitles prisoners to send and receive mail. And the only limitations that they can subject their mail to is, they can censor the mail or withhold delivery if it's necessary to protect institutional security. But outside of that, and there's very, very, very minor incidents where inmates' his right to mail can be taken from him. I mean, even prisoners at the strictest levels of security supervision have a right to receive mail. And, with this in mind, and the fact that the U.S. Post Office was still open for business and people in the community were confined to their homes, and they had limited access to the post office, even though the post office was still open. We thought about that, and as an ex-offender who served 16 years and 4 months myself in those stables, the thought of being left to die alone in a prison cell,
Yes.
without having the opportunity to say goodbye to my family.
Yes.
Every time.
Yes.
And many times just thinking about it, I would find myself like all over in tears, and I think like, something had to be done about that,
Yes.
And I asked myself, like, what would my dying wish be? What would my dying wish be in a situation like that? And being in prison and have someone, being someone who served 16 years, the only thing that I could ask for is to say goodbye to my family. Because if you're dying, you're going to die.
Yes.
Whether you're in prison or whether you're outside.
Yes.
If you had an opportunity and you knew you were dying, like, what would you want to be able to do? And that's what I asked myself. And I said, I wanted to be able to write. That's why I created my writing table. And my writing table is an institutional online communication portal that outside users can use to write letters, to send greeting cards, to send photos, and to send money orders. And like while my writing table, the products they target our primary market, which is correctional institutions and inmates and the families of inmates, but it can be used by anyone. In fact, in 2011, when I first came up with the concept, I went to a company called Distinguished Social Ventures Foundation, which was the philanthropic arm of this company called Distinguished Programs, which was founded by this Jewish guy named Andrew Potash and his wife Andrea, and it's a $150 million a year insurance company. So in 2011, they had put out an email blast that they were looking to fund a business that was willing to hire ex-offenders, because Andy sat on the board of the Osborne Association, which was one of the oldest prison advocacy groups in the country, which means absolutely not much, because the only thing they do is Liz Gaines, who's the director of the program, Jewish white lady, liberal Jewish white lady who has been just getting millions and millions and millions of dollars from the government, because the Osborne Association is a nonprofit. They own real estate throughout New York and New Jersey, up in Scarsdale, and it's a prisoner advocacy group, and they're supposed to help put prisoners, ex-offenders to work. So, knowing the history of the Osborne, this was right up my alley. So when I was told that they were looking to fund a business that was willing to hire ex-offenders, I had already started the company. So it was right up my alley.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for the loan. We had an 8-month development process. In 8 months, I wrote like this comprehensive business plan with all the, the stats and the rules and the regulations and the directives for the mail service, all of this stuff, and put it in one little tight package. Under the assumption that 8 months they're going to give me this loan, only to be told in December of 2012 that they didn't think the idea was going to be able to create jobs. They didn't think there was a viable market for it. He said, thank you for working with us. And then that was December 2012. In May 2013, Scott Potash, who was one of the people who I was required to work with during the development process, and who's the son of the CEO of Distinguished Programs, Scott Potash launched a company called Postable.
Called what?
And Postable.com. It's a $50 million company now. He took my business model and launched it as his own idea.
I knew you was going there. I knew you was going. Man, I'm hearing you. Go ahead. Man.
Yeah, I did file suit. I filed suit in federal court. I sue everybody. I sue the Trump administration. Actually one of the benefits of going to prison all those years. Because out of that 16 years of confinement, I worked in that law library for 13 years and read every legal book that I possibly could muster up the strength and courage to read. So I used a lot of that. I used it in this approach to suing them. But unfortunately, I didn't sign a non-disclosure. I didn't think it was necessary to sign a non-disclosure because it was a loan application.
Yes.
I could see if I was going in there and talking about a strategic partnership or something, but it was a loan application.
Yes.
Why should I have to sign a non-disclosure? But the court ruled that there was no viable claim because the app was under development and hadn't been developed. Which means, to me, it was like, okay, your company, this now is worth $50 million. You know what it tells me? It tells me that it was a great idea.
Yes.
And it's a business model that works. So there's a sense of satisfaction for me in that sense, but it's not over because I've never told this story. Actually, this is the first time that I've shared this story publicly on your radio show.
Wow. It's Free MR Radio. Yes, sir.
We're gonna tell the story, and we're gonna tell it in a big way, just like you told your dad's story in a big way.
Yes.
So there's I'm not even worried about that.
Yes.
The time right now, after what's happening with COVID, is to bring this business model back to life.
Yes.
In a huge way.
Yes.
Because they can't, if this app was available, there's 2.2 million people that are incarcerated. All those family members would have had access. They would have been able to write letters. And the way it works is a simple business model. They write a letter, they upload a greeting card. If they want to include a money order, they can include a money order. If they want to include photos, they can include photos. It all comes to our company as an email. We print it and drop it in the mailbox with your return address on your behalf. We already launched the other side, which is we have my writing table, the brochure. So we already offer these services to prison inmates. We have a text-to-letter correspondence program where we convert photos and handwritten letters into text messages, and we send them directly to the mobile devices of family and friends. So we've expanded. The idea is to expand where our incarcerated brothers and sisters are in prison. They don't just have to write to a single physical address. They to your Instagram account. So, you know, we have all these means of communication, but you know, inmates and prisoners are kept in that obsolete, archaic state where, you know, they have to write physical letters. They have to write physical letters, and you know, and people don't write letters out here, but people text all day.
Yes.
They will sit there and text all day. You know, and in the spirit of your father, you know, keeping families together with the free bus program. I think this is in that spirit that this, you know, when it's done right, and it's only one way to do it. Only one way to do it right. This is going to be a black-owned tech company, and we're going to take care of those millions of people that the government has no problem turning their back on.
Yes.
You know, and we can take care of our own. We don't have to rely on them. We don't have to rely on their phone systems. You know, we don't have to rely on them even getting us access to that visiting room. We have a constitutional right, a First Amendment right to send and receive mail. And I think this is an opportunity to seize that need and to cultivate it and to take care of you know, it's a program that can give people jobs. It's a program that's going to keep families in touch. It's a program that the parents of incarcerated children can use. Children can draw pictures and send it to their families. You know, all they have to do is upload it. They can take a picture of it with their cell phone and upload it. You know, and we get it, and we send it into the you know, we print it, send it into the prison system. The inmates send it out, the families send it in, and we bridge that gap. We don't need them to give us permission, or we don't need to have a contract with the government to do that. That's free market, and that's one of the things that Chairman Fred said. Self-preservation. He preached that self-preservation. We can take care of ourselves. We can take care of one another, and this is an opportunity for us to do that.
You know, just
coming soon.
My writer's table. I just want to touch on some of the political dynamics about even corresponding with those held captive. You know, and even how the state plays around with that case, Hudson versus, what was that case again you mentioned earlier about the prisoners having the right to mail? Hudson versus Palmer. And this is
a United States Supreme Court case.
We have a right to get mail, but this system is so Machiavellian. They do stuff. Okay, like for example, say it again. About the mail. You said something about you said about that case. Was stated with the right for prisoners to receive mail, right? Correct. I was commenting on some of their tactics, like even for example, what they call the circuit. The circuit is technically illegal. They arbitrarily transfer you around different prisons, so on and so forth. So they changed the word to transferring you. And I think about like even the tactics they do with the mail, like losing the mail, so on and so forth. And we see even how this system on the outside community, how they play games with the mail. And communications, dismantling communication is a war tactic. You know what I'm saying? They actually say it like, dismantle, communication, and how it impacts the morale of the people, the morale, as well as the security. You know what I'm saying? In Nazi, I mentioned before, in Nazi Germany, some of the initial victims in the gas chambers was the ones who did not receive any mail. So I'm just touching on the political significance of this. And something you mentioned earlier that really it hit home in regards to death. Like you said something about, and I tell you, it's a different type of death, knowing that you can be murdered, you can be took out, and no one knows where you're at. That's a different feeling. You know what I'm saying? And you said something about just even what would I say? And I remember days. I'm hearing you, and I'm flashback, and I'm related to that your last words. I think about even George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? His last communication, his word, to his mother. You know what I'm saying? That feeling of that, like with my legacy. And people say even when they come close to death, whether it be drowning or whatever, shot, car accidents, how their life flashes before their life, before their eyes, their past experiences. And just to be able to write something, it's something that sometimes people, I think, is minimized. But that communication to, send them, to get it out, to interact, to communicate. And some people sometimes it's minimized to just that. And this is not no small thing about, interaction, social interaction. Because I forget some judge in regards to the Supermax prison has said something to the effect that when you're not in contact with other people, it or others, it disenables you to be able to recognize, stuff that you like, you need contradictions. You say, okay, what's tall, what's short, what's what stinks, what smells good. You need these you need this interaction. And a lot of people say, well, I'm just cool by myself, but that and this is that dynamic, and I even I've been released, or we like to say unleashed, going on like 20 years, and I still have a hesitancy of dealing with technology, computer, and I know I'm impacted by the time, because I was locked up, I was kidnapped at a time when people was embarking on the whole emails and stuff like that, and it reminds me that something was taken from me, a period of my life where this transformation was happening, and it's humbling, and you know what I'm saying, and I found myself with a block to this day about just even embarking on that. And I recall when I get out, just even like the cell phones, stuff like that. So this is something to be able to, the people, I want people to check this out and really see how we can, move, tie this in, and because again, another propaganda piece that this system has done, even with regards to the prisons, that this whole facade, everything is okay, people living this life, so on and so forth. But Pontiac, I can get an update, brothers, saying in isolation, so on and so forth. And that Field Marshal George Jackson of the Black Panther Party has said that no man, I'm gonna paraphrase it, no man nor no woman leaves this place unaffected. No man or no woman leaves this place unaffected. The impact, this, you know what I'm saying? People ask me, like, man, simple things like driving on the expressway. I say I have flashbacks from being transferred, on the road. And this is something, again, so I just want to say right on in regards to this, just acknowledging this, let's know moving forward this program about, again, my writer's table. So we want people, get in contact, follow up with this. And I'm gonna say this too. This is a hell of a time right now, and there's no statute of limitations. And I think and people got to go be retroactive, because our people are continuously ripped up for awards, for acknowledgments, our ideas. I told somebody, I said, what make you think this white guy named Eli Whitney created the cotton gin? What would be his incentive on a plantation to figure out how to create a cotton gin? I say, what? Why would he be sitting up there? All these Africans, doing this work, would say, let me figure out how I can make this process, some more speed. What incentive would he have to do this? You know what I'm saying? And you go back through a history of our patents, our songs, our struggles. I'm watching some of this piece on Sam Cooke last night, and they just blatantly saying how they can't play any songs because this guy Klein has the rights. It's hurting me. I'm thinking about the legacy of Chairman Fred. How many people, have hijacked the legacy, and then people coming, quoting these people who would know Chairman Fred, who can, if they wanted to, couldn't relate to him. Like, this guy Klein, to be over the songs and the struggle of one of our greats, Sam Cooke, and it hurts. But this is a time that we say again, we say when opportunity knocks, snatch the door off the hinges. The contradictions are being heightened. The case of Tamir Rice is being brought back up. You know what I'm saying? And this is not because some officials have some sort of good feelings in their heart. You know what I'm saying? This is when the class piece is being shattered. This is a climate in which the people are speaking. You know what I'm saying? Our backs against the wall. This is a time in which you have certain phenomena. Let's mean phenomenons. Even the coronavirus it's something that's happening to everybody that, you know what I'm saying, that definitely to different degrees. Let me be very clear. Always keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever happened, it's always, you know what I'm saying, I mean, you always can never negate the question of race or class. So it's definitely to different degrees. However, similar during the Black Power movement of the 60s, where everybody was talking about, you know, Vietnam, Philippines, Africa, terms like political prisoners, it was being acknowledged. It was at least being acknowledged. So we have to, so then right now, this time of dynamics contradictions being acknowledged. And you see, you know what I'm saying, questions are being asked. People saying, what is the black community's hesitancy? Why would they have a concern or fear of a vaccine? It must be something to this. You know what I'm saying? It's some background to this. So we have to seize the time, you know what I'm saying, say, no, this is based on some, not no abstract fear. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I didn't even see the movie No Man's Land, but we have to. It's a real fear. It's based in this. It's to the point. It's just second nature. But we must heighten it, you know what I'm saying, politicize and say, no, this is it's not no thought about Tuskegee. It's not no, you know what I'm saying, no crack cocaine, you know what I'm saying, consistently. I mean, if it was just happening on the Trump administration, we say, okay, this is just one time. This has been the modus operandi. We say, you watch crime shows, they say, man, this guy done did this brutal murder. That's his modus operandi. It's a case in Chicago. It's a case in Chicago where they say they have the psychological profile of this one guy who the state constantly puts in our community. They say they know of this guy. We say this guy always does these murders and he gets out of jail. They said they don't even go to jail. They said no, they got his record. They knew about the cat and the cat he killed as a 10-year-old. They knew they had this psychological profile. You know what I'm saying? So this system, this is the modus operandi on getting down with us. You know what I'm saying? And so we got to heighten these contradictions, y'all. We live in the Record on Freedom on radio, man, making history, taking history, and taping history. Give us some contact and callers. Y'all make sure y'all get this information now. You know what I'm saying? Again, man, it's in the forward of a book called The Dragon Has Come. And the forward says, you go visit your loved ones in prison. The outside grass is green. The visiting room looks nice. You're under the impression that your loved ones are being taken back and treated humanely. But the reality is, atrocities cannot be put in words what's happening. You know what I'm saying? What kept me alive when I was held captive, those on the outside, those who held captive with me, if it was not for that, I'm clear what Minister U.E.P. Newton said. I would have been taken out of there in a pine box, if it were not for the support of the people, y'all. Real talk. Give us some contact. How can we get this word? So what's the status of this here? You know what I'm saying? And I want, you know what I'm saying? Man, if people don't, I hope y'all been listening. I mean, our ideas, our thoughts that we have been robbed of, ripped up, and I commend you, brother, again, to go in that corner, get that shot of water, come back out swinging, because it can be demoralizing. You know what I'm saying? You know, a lot of people say, you know, like you said, well, what's the sense of me coming up with a great idea? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna get ripped. I'm gonna get ripped up for it again, so on and so forth. And but I commend you. You know what I'm saying? And, I mean, not forgetting those who are held captive. And I just want to say right on. So yeah. So where we at with this? My writers, what's the contact? How can people move forward with this? What support can be done? You know, let us know what's happening. What's the status? So you know, we definitely want to have you follow up with us on some future shows. Where we at, my brother? Where we at with this?
Well, right now, you know, the letter to text correspondence program for the inmates is active. You know, we take orders there. You know, we take orders that come from right now we're working in the tri-state area, New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut, with the goal of going national, of course. As far as the app, after that incident happened in 2012, I still had the app completed. I wound up leasing the app to the state of Maryland. They changed the name of it. Yes. They instituted it into their prison system. And I just got the right to it back. They wanted to buy the app from me. They offered me $2 million. I turned it down. I
Yes.
said I wanted the right back. And, I found out that they had taken the concept, well, they had stopped, and they made it the full means of being able to send mail into the Maryland Correctional Facility. And I had a problem with that. I was like, why would you restrict the inmates' use just to the mail? And they tried to use the claim that, we're able to control the flow of contraband and yada yada.
Oh yeah.
Which is why, after that experience, I would never contract or go into partnership with the government
Yes.
to provide this
Right
service
on.
to our people.
Yes.
All they want to do is control it.
Yes.
And it's not something that needs to be controlled. You already have means of control.
Yes.
Censorship, vehicles of censorship in place. You have you can check for contraband when mail come in. And I get it. The mail is coming from one source because the people send the mail to us. We convert the mail from digital to print and send it into the prison. So there's the assumption that all the mail that comes from that one source, that mail can be scanned. That's what I'm saying. Like, we don't need to censor our mail. We don't need to check the inmate mail before we send it into the prison. Like, we're not here to do your job. We're here to make sure that the families of those who are incarcerated can stay in touch with their incarcerated loved ones.
Yes, indeed.
And it's been proven. And not only has it been proven, like those inmates and those prisoners who remain in touch with their family members, they're more likely to come out and have a positive adjustment into society because they remain hopeful throughout their incarceration. Mail kept me hopeful. Every time I got a piece of mail, like there's times I would read that. I'm sure there's letters that I've read hundreds of times over and over, particularly those letters that came from my mom before she passed away. So yeah. I had set my mind that, even I had 38 and a third of life. I set my mind. I wasn't spending the rest of my life in prison. So I went and got an education. I used what I learned. I flipped it. I got up out of there. And now it's time for me to give something back to the community because, with the advent of technology, a lot of those brothers and sisters are getting left behind because the art of letter writing is going out the window. Everybody's cut. Nobody's sitting down with paper and pen and writing a letter, which is what 98% of the inmates, throughout the 2 million that are incarcerated. That's the only way that they can be email is snail mail.
Yes.
So, I figure, it's a lot for the community. Where we're at right now, I tell you that we're back in the winter of 2019. I'm also a franchise owner. I own 2 fast sign franchises in New York. Got any listeners that's from New York or anybody that's come to New York that's looking for work? So that I can create jobs for people who were in circumstances like me. I came home. I got a decent job, and my background came back. I lost my job.
Man.
My whole purpose.
Say it again. Just say it again, bro. Just because I listened to hear you. What happened? Say it again. You had the job in the background. What happened again? Just get people to hear that part. What happened?
I said my whole purpose for getting into business, for becoming a businessman, was to create jobs for people who was in situations like me, who were ex-offenders and kept getting fired.
Yes. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
40% of my staff is ex-offenders. Every Thursday, we take flyers down to the parole building, and we hand flyers out. You need a job? You're looking for a job? We always got, send your resume. I learned commercial arts in prison. I came out and it was a marketable skill, and I took things to the next level. I started out with a little small computer and a printer in the corner of my office and was doing design work for people. You know, and built that into, I built a franchise, they'll sign me up. We, you know, at the end of the day, we had 11 locations, and then Fast Signs, which was an international brand, we went to the table with them. They bought our brand as a part of the deal. I got 2 franchise agreements, you know, and so I have 2 franchises where I can put people to work.
We pushing to get fast. We pushing for Fast Signs. Get this sign. We still going through some struggles, man. We want, man. We talked about even the sign for the Hampton House, man. And I'm more encouraged now in this conversation, brother. Man, I just want to say, man, respect and appreciation to you, man. These airwaves are always open for you. You know what I'm saying? In the spirit of steel sharpening steel and men and women sharpening men and women, man, we want, hey, this is not, though you based in New York, we want our listeners and our viewers all over the country, all over the world to hear this, you know what I'm saying, and see how we can support this here. You know what I'm saying? The airways are open for you to come back. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to let too much of the information, too much of the cat out the bag, because we know everything we do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, this system, I'm flashback on this Sam Cooke movie last night. So, man, the airways are always open for you, brother, man. Real talk, man. I appreciate this. You know, we live and direct on Freedom.
Before I go, I just want to say, Lady of Rage, let me tell you something, sister. For those 16 years, like, I bumped you in my headphones hard. You helped me get through those times, and I appreciate your voice. I appreciate your platform. You know, I appreciate having the opportunity to sit here and speak to you live. Like, sister, you're an icon, and I hope you and your music live forever.
Thank you.
Right on.
Glad to have been of service. I'm glad to have helped you through that time. Thank you.
Right on. Man, hey, right on.
Wow.
Brother,
I gotta wrap it up, brother.
It's love, respect, man. Hey, I you know, it's something, just even we got to know each other directly, indirectly, man, on that set. Even Shaka going back, check on his parents. Different, it was highs and lows in them days, man. And everybody, I think about so many situations, you know what I'm saying? I'm flashing back. Even when we first was talking, Ryan Coogler's mom was talking, and she mentioned about this again, mind you, this before the coronavirus, and she told, when we go, I don't know, she said the award show or something, and the red carpet, whatever the event was, and how all these different families and stuff are coming in contact with, man. Charles King, you name it, man. It's something, and it's ongoing in relationships. I tell people, saying, this is not a one-hit movie, man. It's ever developing. We in discussion that time, the big thing for August 30th for Chairman Fred's birthday, getting everybody in town, for that, and also December the 4th. But we're gonna be following up, and I'm keeping you posted about this event we're doing for Father's Day, man. To your family, man, love and respect. The airways are open, man. Get shocked and all that, man. The parents, again, our love, man. Right on, brother. Man, love and respect. Free them all. We live and direct, y'all. Free them all radio, making history, taking history, taping history, y'all. You can't make this up, y'all. We still ride. If you got a curfew, you know what I'm saying? If you can't go, if you can't go cross state lines, if you just want to stay in one location, you tripping, so if you can't go, don't let the parole officer know that you riding, y'all. Again, we respect no colonial borders, y'all. We jumping we all over, and it's not in a reactionary way, it's in a political way. We touching down what's happening about the contradictions from Chicago to the Congo. You know what I'm saying? Sister Comrade, give us a heads up. We got any callers in queue? I think we talking about what's happening in Philadelphia, May 15th, New York, May 19th, Palestine. What's happening? Live and direct, y'all. Conrad, we free them out. We got any callers in queue?
Of the resistance to existence movement, free them all.
Right on. Welcome to Free Them All Radio.
Everybody.
Good to hear your voice.
Thank you.
This is our weekly program. I think we down to about a half an hour, you know what I'm saying? But we want to definitely, I don't know how long you've been listening to us. This is a weekly program we have here. And, just, let us know who you are. give us some background, because the people hear terms like, what's happening in different cities, and they say, well, that's just over there. But we're at a time now where people are recognizing the internet, not the international impact, or how actions, whether it be the pipelines, whether it be what's happening in Palestine, how it impacts, um, our everyday discussions again. And this is we cannot afford the luxury, and I'm using that term loosely, not to be in tune, to take a position. So we have to, we have to combat liberalism. So even so if you can bring us up to speed in whatever historical context, because a lot of times people think just because they're hearing about it at a certain time, this is something new. You know what I'm saying? I mean, but people are talking, acknowledging days like 1948, what's happening, to put stuff in historical context and like the history, and go against that arrogance. Well, like I think the old saying, if a tree falls in the forest and if you don't hear it, does it make a sound? Of course it makes a sound, just because a person don't know about it. I mean, the trees have been not only falling, they've been chopped down, they've been slaughtered, they've been knocked up. You know what I'm saying? And then, so it shouldn't have to come to this stage in the game where people are, are just having this, but having discussion what's happening now, but they're having it, so we want to seize the time, and and open, and we big about self-determination. We pride ourselves on having people from these various respective communities that can give us, updates on what's happening and how people can get involved in addressing these contradictions. So again, welcome to Freedom on Radio. Who are you? What's happening right now with this discussion? That some people are just getting on board with what's happening. Hey, my brother. You with us?
Thank you, bro. Appreciate that. My name is Nancy Hackerbeck. Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm the co-founder of Victims Resistance, based out of New York. I'm Palestinian, raised the UK, going back and forth to Palestine all my life. My whole family is. I am from 48, what they call 48, which is known as Israel proper, not the bank or Gaza. They split us into three. I'll talk about that in a minute. We basically, Existence Resistance, have worked on various issues from the Congo to Palestine. We're very close with the MOVE organization. Shout out to PAM Africa, our brother Sekou Odinga. We're all about freeing all the people. We're about freedom everywhere. If one of us isn't free, none of us are free.
Right on.
So, talking about Palestine, 2021, if motherfuckers don't know what's going on in Palestine, it's because they choose not to know. It's because they're ignoring this shit, like DJ Khaled, who's Palestinian. Palestine is on something now. This happens all the time where Israel bombs the shit out of them and people see something on the news. I mean, for example, the New York Post reported yesterday, Hamas fired rockets into Israel and 20 people died, 9 children. Actually wrong. Hamas fired rockets into Israel because Israel was bombing and gassing people praying in Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem in the holy month of Ramadan. Regardless of when it is, they should never be gassing people that are praying in a place of worship, period. The people that died were in Gaza because Israel bombed them. But now it's actually 65 people, 19 of them children, that have died in Gaza in the last 2 days.
So, excuse me, could you say the number again?
65 people. This is at 4 p.m. I've actually been on calls back to back, so I haven't checked the numbers now, but at 4 p.m. it was 65 people. 19 of them children and 5 of them women, and over 365 injuries. This is just in Gaza. We're not talking about, within what they call Israel and the Palestinian cities, villages and towns that are uprising, or the West Bank. This all started, the most recent uprising started because Israel is yet again, as it does on a consistent, is pull people out of their homes and expel them from their homes that they lived in generation after generation. There's a personal friend of mine, Al-Kurti, the grandmother who just passed away, recently. This would have been the 4th time she's been expelled expelled from her home. They are taking people out of their homes in East Jerusalem and giving
these houses, literally giving these to people from America. To there's Zionism. This is not about Judaism or Islam or this is nothing to do with religion. This is about white people coming to the Middle East talking about they was there 3,000 years ago, and so they should move into people's homes. And so, because people are being kicked out of their homes and all these Westerners are moving in, literally, I'm talking about kicked out of their homes, like the army come to your house and tell you you have to leave. I'm talking about you leave your furniture in there, everything. And motherfuckers walk in with their suitcases. Like, this is documented. You can go on YouTube and watch Jerusalem home evictions or home expulsions, and you'll see people literally walking in with their suitcases right off the plane.
What should you type in again on YouTube? What do you type in?
You could just type in forced home evictions, Palestine, Jerusalem, home expulsions. You can type in any of that; it will come up. People being kicked out their home in Jerusalem. I'm sure if you type that in, it will come up too. And this is happening all the time. But there's a number of families that it's happening to. That they had a notice, a 30-day notice that they had to leave. And so they've been, people have been out there protesting with them to protect their homes. And so everybody has been attacked, beaten, all types of shit. So all over what they call Israel, in the Palestinian towns, cities, even in the cities that are mixed, people are uprising. People are having demonstrations. And because Israel is a militaristic state, most of the majority of their civilians are armed civilians, only the Jews, not the Arabs. And so right now you have these settlers, these Israelis walking around villages and towns shooting people. In my hometown of Haifa, I just watched a video 5 minutes ago while I was listening to you, or someone sent me a video, and they're like running up in people's homes. Like, my family's there, my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, like my friends. Like, Israelis are literally running up in people's homes and trying to kill people. They've dragged people. They've set up where there'll be like 200 of them blocking the street, and a Palestinian drives down. There's like mad videos right now. I'll send you some. A bunch of videos where they're literally smashing the cars, dragging the Palestinians out, and like beating them to death. It's like, it literally looks like the Purge or something. Like, it looks like it's like some real crazy shit. It's not. The thing is, it's not that surprising, because we know that they're psychotic maniacs. Like, we know that already, because this has been going on in Palestine since before 1948, but 1948 is what everyone can reference, because that's when they changed the name of the country to Israel with their Western funding. But it's not surprising that they're doing this, because we know that they're crazy and they're sick. It's more surprising that people are so silent about it. And again, I've said this 1,000 times to people. I said it in a live like an hour ago. You don't have to be pro-Palestinian. You don't have to give a shit about Palestinians. But what you do need to give a shit about is when you see all those blown-up babies and all these kids that are being shot and beaten. Every single piece of weaponry that Israel has, we give them $10.2 million a day. $10.2 million a day. And actually, Biden's plan gives them a little bit more than that from our tax money just for military aid. This is not talking about their annual financial money that they get. Just for military aid, they're getting $10.2 million a day. So
that's just okay. You send aside from a budget from the United States, from U.S. You saying just alone for military aid again? How much again? Man. Play games with me now. All right.
Hold on.
All right.
Welcome to Blog Talk Radio. You are now in the host queue. Currently,
I'm back.
Places like the lid is right next to Tel Aviv. where that's the Israeli city they like to call Tel Aviv. There's a town called Lid, which is actually where the Palestinian
Tel Aviv is the capital, correct?
It became Israel, and this town right next to Tel Aviv has been uprising. They've had protests. An Israeli civilian came out and shot one of the protesters and killed him. And yesterday at the funeral, the Middle East came out and started, shooting and throwing gas and sound bombs and shit at the people trying to bury the brother that got killed the day before. Tonight, there was a curfew on that town that this is what they said, no Arabs are allowed to leave their homes. So people are sending me videos of the Jewish civilians, Israelis, walking around with their weapons trying to break into people's houses. They're smashing all the Arabic businesses. It's some psychotic shit that's happening right now.
So with the curfew is blatantly stating is not for everyone. They're literally saying who.
Hamas, and I don't know the name you mentioned, but what is Hamas, or who are Hamas?
So Hamas, yeah, because that's really important because there's paid people on the internet to just keep copying and pasting. Oh, Hamas are firing rockets. Hamas are firing rockets. First of all, under international law, Palestinians have every right, and it specifically says Palestinians have a right as an occupied people to resistance, to armed resistance. Hamas is an organization that came out as a resistance organization 40 years after Israel was created. 30-something plus years after Israel was created. So they weren't the beginning or the end of this issue. Hamas then became the governing body of the Gaza Strip. People voted in their resistance to govern them. And so Hamas are the ones that are responding with homemade rockets and missiles. That to be totally honest, in actual fact, haven't really reached that far. Yesterday they did reach Tel Aviv for the first time, and Israel shut down its airports and stuff. But they don't cause the damage like Israel's, high-tech weaponry that they have that is blowing up, entire residential buildings with hundreds of families in them, every few minutes. So, when you have a funded, highly tech, a high-tech army that is bombing the shit out of an area, and then you've got these rockets and missiles that are being fired back, that's called resistance. So people need to stop trying to use Hamas as an excuse of what's happening. Plus, Hamas only started firing the rockets and missiles 2 days ago. Prior to that, Israel has been shooting and murdering Palestinians every single day for the last 73 years.
Wow. So Hamas is basically, or should I say, the defenders.
Unmuted.
They're a resistance organization. They're a resistance organization, and they have a faction of them that are armed resistance. So you have the governing body of who are in the government. They were voted in by the people that live in Gaza, the Palestinians that live in Gaza, because Gaza and the West Bank have walls around them. They're both like open air prisons. The difference is that in the West Bank, there are thousands of settlers, American Jews from Brooklyn, from all over, and from Europe that live in the West Bank as well, that have, they basically go in, they take the highest point near an Arabic village, steal the water from that village, and then they start building settlements. We call them settlements. They're like little white houses, like they all look the same. They're like rows, just rows of white houses. And they're all over the West Bank. In Gaza, when Hamas got elected, they moved all the settlers out. So Gaza is purely Palestinian. There's about 2.2 million Palestinians living in Gaza. And the way Israel treats both of them. With the West Bank, it's a little more personal because the soldiers are in your face. They'll shoot you up close, execution style. And then in Gaza, Israel just, fly drones over and bomb the shit out of them. They just press a button. It's way less personal. But you know what I'm saying, the way that they do it. So yeah, I mean, that's who Hamas are. Hamas are a political faction, among many political factions in Palestine, which I am not a supporter of any, to be honest. But I don't get to talk for people that live under the conditions that Palestinians are living in there. I don't get to choose what their resistance is. When somebody is attacking and trying to murder your family, you do whatever the fuck you have to do to protect them, period. There's no if, but nobody gets an opinion on that. Because I swear they have a law here called stand your ground. Someone comes in your house, you can shoot them, no? Well, Europeans and Americans are running up in our houses in Palestine and taking them. So, but then we resist and fight back. And the majority don't have weapons that are fighting back, and they're getting called terrorists, which is just crazy. It's crazy.
I want to reiterate.
And you said that, oh, go ahead, man. Go ahead,
No.
Tim.
I just want to you mentioned earlier in regards to the solidarity in regards to the cases of Mumia Abu Jamal, political prisoners. And I just wanted to make note, this is not just a reactionary position that's being taken. In fact, ironically, before the coronavirus, there was an event set that we continuously post for the coronavirus. There was an event set that we continuously postpone that we were supposed to have. Can you tell us what that event was? This is before this became a politically correct discussion to have, and the event was set to I think it was about a year ago. We had said that we postponed it due to coronavirus, and we definitely see the need to have this event. And so people, I just want to keep that fresh in the minds and hearts of people. So when opportunity comes, we have to really increase those numbers to come into that event.
1,000%. The one in Chicago you're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah, that was with Twister. Twister was going to perform. I mean, all the artists, there's so many artists speaking out right now, which is amazing because that's what we need. That's what I was saying. If people ignore it, they choose to ignore it. At this point, there's too much. I know that everybody has had something about Palestine flash through their timeline. You know what I'm saying? Somebody somewhere has posted something. You got people, French Montana posted about it. And he does every time, and I got to give him all the credit because he has a platform. There's a artist from the UK, Dua Lipa, I think her name is. She's been posting about it. 65 million followers. So I'm sure millions of them have no idea what Palestine is, but it came up on their timeline. You know what I'm saying? So I just don't understand how. And again, and this is with even with the black struggle here. I don't understand how people can see images and videos of the atrocities that these white psychotic supremacists are doing to our people and not feel bad. I don't understand how people can see people being lynched in the streets and stay silent. I don't understand how any human being can see babies being blown to pieces and then blame, they're the people that are trying to protect them as terrorists when they're the ones that have been attacked. It's just crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Someone comes to your house to take your house and kill your kids, and you're trying to protect your house, and everyone's calling you a fucking terrorist. How does that work? In what world?
Yeah.
Well, this world, apparently.
Yes.
Right. Just so tired. I'm telling you, I'm just watching video after video. Like, my family, we got family on the ground there, so people are sending us like videos, through WhatsApp and stuff.
Yes.
We're seeing videos of babies. People are breaking into people's homes and stuff. We're seeing pictures. I watched a video of a young girl screaming. Her dad's laid out dead on the floor, and she's shaking him, trying to wake him up. He had just got killed. I watched a little boy running, screaming for his dad in his dad's funeral. Israel had bombed them. This was in Gaza, and they're carrying his dad in the funeral, and he's just screaming for his dad. I mean, I don't know how any parent can watch that. You know what I mean? I don't care where you're from, what your religion is, what color you are. I don't understand how you can watch that and be okay with that and say, oh, well, they're terrorists. It just, you know, it was a brother on his way to the hospital. His wife was giving birth, and Israel bombed Gaza, and his car blew up, and he died and never got to meet his daughter.
I'm glad you addressed something.
And 3 children, all 3 of her babies, at the age of 12, all 3 of them died in Gaza. I mean, this shit is it's unacceptable, man, and it's just frustrating because they control the narrative, they control the media. I told you, the New York Post. I mean, although New York Post is trash, they've been racist, they've been disgusting. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they're trash. We know that they're trash, but it's just so wild how they can report about the people that died in Gaza as if it was Israelis that died. Like how they just switch it. It's just nuts. It's absolutely crazy.
You addressed something. Go ahead, Coles. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, I saw, I don't know the name of the mosque, but it was, I saw a lot of women, and it seemed like it was children there as well. Is this one of when you were talking about the mosque in the beginning, where the children were killed and some of the women? Is it Al-Aqsa Mosque? Yeah, so Al-Aqsa Mosque, this is the famous mosque in Jerusalem. Whenever you see a picture of Jerusalem, you see the mosque with the golden dome. That's the mosque that we're talking about. It's actually Dome of the Rock, but that's a whole other story. But Al-Aqsa Mosque, as most people know it to be, the women were praying, and the Israelis started gassing and throwing sound bombs and shooting outside the mosque, throwing bombs and gas into the mosque. And there was kids. I don't know if you saw the kids screaming and crying, and and you know, this is regardless of what the situation is. You know, it's known that you're never ever supposed to bring weapons into a place of worship ever.
Could you give us some of those YouTube links again, and also any sites that you recommend, how people can be kept up to date? As you just pointed out, like even the media, you know, the historical nature of the media. So what, you know, saying whether even social media sites that people can go to see some live, you know, updates, you know, saying, and so people can struggle to make some objective analysis to contend with, you know, the propaganda that's continuing to put out. So if you can get it out, provide that. Also, I'd like to ask, you mentioned curfews earlier. What other type of laws, or, you know, I mean, because not, you know, I mean, other you know, what type of actions, you know what I'm saying, like past, like where you can go, other, you know what I'm saying, what's the everyday situation like, you know what I'm saying, just like, you know, basically how people can move around, or better yet, camp, you know what I'm saying? Give us a little insight if you can. What's happening now?
Okay, so first of all, just the best page, the pages to follow on Instagram that are posting live updates as things happen are I on Palestine, which is I like EYE on Palestine. They're amazing. They've been posting like literally up to date, and then they've literally been letting people in different cities, different Palestinians in different cities and towns go live from their page. So I on Palestine is definitely one of them. Another one is Quds TV, which is Jerusalem. It's spelled QUDS TV. They've also been going live a lot from Gaza. You know, they'll be recording live, and then you just see a building explode right behind it. I mean, it's horrendous. And then there's obviously people on the ground. I'm actually Chairman Fred, I'm going to send you some links to the pages of people if you're able to post them.
Okay.
That would be great. There's some people on the ground. So our
Okay.
brother who is facing expulsion from his home, he actually lives in New York. He had moved to New York for school, at ATL for school, and is living in New York, but he went back when they told his family they were going to kick them out. So he's been there trying to protect his family. He was on CNN yesterday. Muhammad Al-Kurd, I'm going to send you the link to his page.
Send that to my either Free MR Radio or official Chairman Fred Jr. My Facebook page has been shut down, so send it to the Instagram, and I'll make sure we get on top of that.
Definitely. I'm going to send you a couple of different people in different areas that are going live every day that are, are good people on the ground that are literally just out there filming every day. And yeah, I mean, for everyday life out there right now is just crazy, bro. Like they can't, in Gaza, people are putting their kids. This is what they do every time they get bombed. They have their kids sleep in different rooms, so that if Israel bomb their building, that not all their kids die at one time. What parent has to think about that?
We live and direct on Free MR Radio.
Sleep in different areas of the house, and then in what they call Israel currently. Literally, the citizens of Israel, the Jewish citizens, the high percentage of them are armed. All the settlers are armed. In the West Bank, every single Jewish person in the West Bank is armed. From the age of 16 and up, they are armed. So these people are walking around, opening fire on people. There was a young sister, Palestinian sister, who was walking or by a bus stop near Hawara checkpoint, near Nablus in the West Bank, and a settler drove by and shot her. And, like I said, they're literally setting up checkpoints at every Arabic town, village, and beating Palestinians out of their car. There's a video, really graphic video. It's really horrible. The Palestinian brother was trying to drive through. They started throwing rocks and stuff, smashed his car until he almost crashed. And then once he stopped the car, they dragged him out and beat him with all types of metal bars and shit. He's laying there. You can't even see his face. He's covered in blood. He looks like he's dead, to be honest. I don't even know if he's alive. And he's not moving, and they're still beating him for like minutes after. And they went live, and they're like laughing and like celebrating. Like they're really a sick breed of motherfuckers. They really are.
We live and direct on Free MR Radio, spirit of making history, taking history, taping history. We serve hot food and we serve hot politics. This is live and direct. Y'all tune in again. Hey,
also ourselves at Existence is Resistance. We're that we get and that we see to spread the information. And then the other one was the Jerusalem TV. It's the Jerusalem News, and it's on Instagram as well. QUDS TV, Quds TV. They're definitely, and then the people that are going live from the ground, I'm going to send you the links to your Instagram, and hopefully you'll share that and people can follow them. And those are the people that are really on the front line, fearless soldiers. I love them, and all respect to everybody that puts their body on the line for our freedom.
Live and direct, y'all. Free MR Radio. Y'all stay locked and loaded again next Wednesday, same time, same station. Keep y'all heads up, eyes on the fist clenched. Again, the spirit of internationalism. You know what I'm saying? We some of the contradictions again all over the world. This is Comrade Daphne. Give us something to take us out, y'all. Y'all make sure you get those links and all those contents we laid out today, y'all. Again, the Black Panther Party said information is raw material for new ideas. Information is raw material for new ideas. Ears up, eyes open, the fist clenched. It's called Free 'em All.